Oromo people are the largest ethnic group in the Horn of Africa, and they belong to a land they call Oromia. The Horn of Africa is called this because it looks like a horn. They were one of the first groups to create a way for people to govern themselves. They did this by sitting under the Oda tree. The Oda tree was where all the Oromo people came together in a sharing circle where everyone got to make choices about the community and solve problems that came up. Everybody's voices counted no matter what age. They also sat under the tree to tell stories, because telling stories is how they would pass lessons down from generation to generation. Nothing was ever written down. The way that people governed themselves was called the Gada system. To make up the government, they chose people from all the different clans, like the Borana people, who were the warriors, the Arsi people, who were the storytellers, and the Harar people, who were the providers of the food, and many, many others. This was done to make sure that people didn't fight amongst themselves because they were all part of a bigger family that needed each other. The big government for all of Ethiopia tries to control the Oromo people. One way that they try to do this is by getting rid of the government that the Oromo people set up for themselves. Oromo people today still do things by the Gada system. If there is any fight over land or over anything else, elders are there. If there's a problem between cousins in a family, the elders are there. If you're in trouble and you can't find a solution, the elders are there. If someone gets sick, the elders are there. People sitting in a circle represents the unity, togetherness, and love of the people. The Gada system was also a form of spirituality. The Oromo people had a strong spiritual connection to their land because they believed that spirits belonged to the land. Their god was called Waka Goracha, which means black god. The people called God black because they believed that they were made to be black, just like God. The people were proud, but the road ahead would not be easy. The Harar people's purpose is to protect the land because the people need the land to survive, grow food, and house the spirits. Each year, the Oromo people celebrate the Iracha, or Buta, which is Thanksgiving festival or ceremony that takes place on a river. It begins in the beginning of the harvest season to thank the ancestors for the food that will be harvested. Oromo people from all over come together for the ceremony, but nowadays the ceremony happens in secret. The big government of Ethiopia made the ceremony illegal, which means people are not allowed to do it. Oromo people aren't afraid to do the Iracha ceremony, even though they know that there could be consequences. In October of 2016, over 100 people were killed practicing their ceremony. No matter what, Oromo people will never stop doing their ceremonies. The Arsi people's purpose is to tell stories. Oromo people told their stories in their language, which is called Oromo. Right now, the Oromo language is not allowed to be taught in schools or spoken in public. Oromo singers, poets, and teachers are put in jail for using their language. The language still survives all over East Africa. Parents take care to teach their children their language and stories. Borana people's purpose is to protect the people. Oromo people fight back every day in big and small ways with indigenous people around the world to keep their language and their culture. In 2016, the Oromo people led huge protests in Ethiopia. The Ethiopian government had a master plan to try to make Ethiopia's capital city bigger and take over farmland from Oromo people. Oromo people said no and fought to protect their farmland. In August of 2016, hundreds of thousands of people marched to protect Oromo people's rights in over 200 cities. In 2016, at the Rio Olympics, an Oromo marathon runner named Feisa Lelisa won the silver medal. As he crossed the finish line, he crossed his arms in an X to make the symbol of the Oromo Resistance. Hajintola in Mississauga, Canada, and Ipsa Ejigu in Quebec, Canada both made the X symbol when they won the marathon races in their own cities. The Oromo Resistance movement has changed Ethiopia forever. Oromo people say, Oromia Nibilisonti, which means Oromia shall be free. Mudirma